Hey all, and welcome back to Pokémon Sword. Today we're going to be taking on the Circhester gym, and wow, a loss already. I didn't think I was that good at Pokémon, but Hop makes me, I don't know, he makes me feel better. Everyone should have a Hop in their life, because when your life's going shit, someone else has it worse, and you know, perspective can help sometimes.
I know. Well, I guess that's a rocky start to this recording session.
Oh, Christ. These fuckers, because Richie purchased tickets to go see Frozen or whatever later this year, have been making ice puns before we start recording. And we've got an ice route coming up, so I'm just dreading that.
Well, to be fair, I was making Frozen song references, not necessarily Frozen puns, but they amount to the same thing, and yeah, I'm just quite happy because I had to sit through a really awful pre-sale to get those, so I'm just happy.
Well.
So you can just keep pissing off Tom with me for catharsis. You might as well learn to enjoy it, because it is fun and it works.
That's fine. I mean, we've done it many a time, so I'm quite happy to continue.
To be fair, I give as good as I get, so it's not like it's deserved a lot of the time. Moonball, a very, I don't want to say unnecessary, but kind of weird Pokeball variant.
Yeah.
It's like, how many times are you going to run into a Pokemon that evolves via a Moonstone when you wouldn't just use a Dusk Ball or something?
Well, I did see in the trailer for one of the DLC packs that they are bringing Nidoking and Nidoqueen back, so if you find a Nidorina or Nidorino, then that will be a good one, and I am glad that those are coming back, because Nidoking and Nidoqueen are two of my favourite Pokemon.
Fuck yeah, fuck yeah. Took a Nidoking all the way to the league, and let's go Pikachu. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, now that you've mentioned that stuff, Flame, Apricorns are coming back in the DLC as well.
Yeah, so I imagine they'll probably just work the same way they did in Gen 2, maybe sped up a little bit, because the one-a-day thing, it kind of undervalued it. It made it less appealing to use, really. Well,
even if it's just like a bushel of them, like you can get 6 Pokeballs a day or something, or like an hour, that would be fine.
Yeah, like it does mean that the more unique kinds of Pokeballs aren't limited to just one from the ball guy anymore, which it feels like it's necessary. Although I will say one thing regarding the Pokeballs that I find fascinating is that you can get Beast Balls in this game.
Yeah, for reasons I don't know. So yeah, the Circhester Gym Challenge, it's basically using a not item finder to find your way around the course, dodging pits and whatnot. It's exactly the same in Shield, except with an ice motif. Why the trainers so sassy in this gym, I do not know. Anywho, yeah, I'm not very good at dodging holes and whatnot. I think and I'm ready to take this L. The momentum of the trainer will carry you a teensy bit forward before you decide to turn around at the very last second, and whoop, there you go into that hole.
This isn't a Sonic game. You don't get to blame the momentum for your own fuck-ups here.
Alright, fair enough.
But are we gonna be doing a 100% pitfall run here?
We'll see, Flame. We shall see. So, Circhester Gym. Rock, obviously. Water, you want to bring in. Fighting. I'm not sure if I could recommend Grass, because I believe Gordie or Gordie's ace is Rock and Fire. I believe he uses a Gigantamax Colossal.
He does indeed, from what I remember. Also, I'm pretty sure that his name is Gordie, purely because obviously it's based on a gourd. But you would not be wrong for, I think, going with Gordie, purely because there's a very strong chance that it could also partially stem from the word Geordie, i.e. someone from Newcastle.
Alright, like, gonna have a Pokemon battle.
What the hell was that?
I thought it was Geordie. It may have been Welsh, I'm not sure.
I don't think it was either of those. Basically, if you're going to go for Geordie, you basically just got to go YA man. That's
closer, yeah.
Roller coaster staff. Like that was terrible, but you get the picture. YA man.
Okay.
That's or pet. Pets are good, although that might be slightly Mackham. So my grandparents, or one set of my grandparents, come from Sunderland.
Okay, so I didn't realise this was going to cascade into a story.
And so Sunderland and Newcastle have got quite the rivalry. But if you're from Newcastle, you're a Geordie. If you're from Sunderland, you're a Mackham. so I'm part Macam.
Tom, come on.
I will play the games I want. Don't tell me how to play.
See, this is why whenever there's one of these weird puzzles, I tend to just keep a guide open in another tab.
Yeah, well, this is more a physical puzzle than like a block swapping sort of thing, so you just gotta kind of feel it out.
No, it's literally, they are in set places, so if you avoid the holes, then you'll be fine.
Yeah, well, it's a 2D image versus a 3D map, so go figure.
You can be asked to find the guide, I got it.
No, I didn't want to. It's not a hard thing, it just takes a little bit longer is all.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the way that obviously you're meant to figure it out is that the dowsing machine kind of starts glowing redder and redder as you kind of point in the direction of a hole or get closer to a hole.
No, I got that. It's just that when I went to turn around at the point where it started glowing, I'd already hit the trigger for the hole to open.
Yeah, basically in those instances, it was just you got too close. Like, it is possible to stop before you hit that point, but I do understand how it is quite easy to make that mistake, and also, it's not like you really lose anything by doing it, so it really doesn't matter, other than wasting a little bit of time.
Imagine if you went to check your Pokémon and they'd, like, lost 50 HP or something each.
Yeah, just from the full damage, yeah, but I think the main tell, the most prominent one, is that the controller vibrates.
Yeah,
so,
well,
because it's got the switch, like, what was it they called it? The
HD Rumble.
Yeah, HD Rumble, which basically it's just a vibration that feels awful in your hands.
Well, not really, but everyone feels rumbles differently, so I'm not going to really pick you up on that one.
Okay, I can carry this conversation on if you'd like.
No, we're pretty clear that you understand the sensation of rumbling in your hand at this point, Flame.
That's not where the rumble goes.
Oh, fuck this, fuck everything. Alright, Super Mario Kart the Pokémon, I'm gonna punch you until you die.
Basically, yeah. Like, it can't be Super Mario Kart, because I can actually see it. Like, this is a workable perspective here.
Oh, I get it. Well, to be fair, the only one I had trouble with perspective-wise was Super Circuit.
I never got on with 2D Mario Kart in general, honestly. Like, I've always been stuck with 3D. Like, that's what I understand and what I get, but then I am, like, I'm sure of that as well, so take that how you will.
Yeah, fair dues, mate, fair dues.
I think, if I recall correctly, I think the Super Circuit might have been my first ever Mario Kart game, and I really enjoyed it when I played it, because I was a child and I didn't know any better. But obviously now I'm just like, oh yeah, no, that was, that was not good.
It's like the SNES one, but with worse music, so nah, I'm fine.
One day you'll get over this grudge you have towards the GBA sound chip, and on that day you will learn to enjoy a wider variety of games.
Well, I don't have any issues with good GBA games, I just prefer them with the sound off.
Sounds all part and parcel of the package, mate. Honestly.
Not when it's like a fucking really compressed attempt at brass instrumentation that doesn't actually sound anything like brass, and so it's just like a bit crunched mess. Like, the Game Boy Advance was trying too hard, like, in pretty much every case, to use instrumentation that it can't pull off as well as the composers thought it could. No music on the system sounds good. I'm not backing down from that one, because I'm right.
Yeah, no, you are categorically wrong on that. I'm not saying that there aren't some terrible songs on there.
Oh, yeah.
But there are some amazing songs that do sound good. Whether they were in Pokemon or not is a different kettle of fish. But I will say, I also wouldn't be able to say this particular song blows your thing out the water purely because, you know, it's been that long since I've listened to GBA songs properly that I just cannot remember for the life of me, and I'm not going to bother going around and figuring out a list.
Well, I'm going to go around and figure out the way to this fucking place. Oh, what is it then? What is it?
No, Richie, you can list stuff off. We've got time.
That is true, but the lists that I've got are purely Bulbapedia based.
Okay, maybe not then. We've stolen enough of their content so far as it is.
You're not wrong, but I feel like we might as well just go the whole hog now, because like we've gone far enough into it.
Well, yeah, like eventually we're gonna get you listing off trivia about both the leader here and the overrated ice milfs either way, so whatever.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of Melody, whatever her name is.
Well, I can give you the name trivia. She's called Melanie because she's got big melons. That's what it is, right, Rick?
I mean, you are basically right, yeah.
Is that what it says on your document there?
Well, it's not because obviously she has big melons, although that is obviously part of the pun. Because her Japanese name is Melon. Literally melon. In German it's Mel. In French it's Lona. In Italian it's Melania. And everything else is melon. And although in Chinese it is Mei Rong, which comes from the transcription of the Japanese name melon, but also could be beauty. But basically it is all to do with melon, because obviously the whole plant, fruit, flower thing, the theme. But then obviously she does have, larger breasts.
Yes, thank you.
But the other bit of trivia with Melanie is that her uniform number 361, Japanese wordplay, it's Samui, which means cold.
Yay!
But yeah, basically that's probably the one where you just go, you look at it and you just go, ugh, Game Freak. Why couldn't you be maybe a little bit more creative on that one?
They've just basically given up pretending at this point. Yep, one of the edicts for each new generation is a whole slew of Poke waifus. You can't copy that, Temtem.
Well, with how fucking ugly Temtem's art style is, they're not even trying to be fair.
Yeah, I have to say that has been a whole odd thing occurring with Temtem, because, I never heard of it, and then suddenly, following Sword and Shield, and I'm assuming sort of some of the more information stuff coming out about Temtem, everyone was sort of pushing it as this massive Pokemon killer, and it's just like...
That's a good
joke. While I'm sure that it will be a good game, and good luck to the developers and everything, that's not happening, There are many, many game franchises that have tried for Pokemon's crown. None of them have ever succeeded.
See, the thing there is that, I feel like there's a market for more, collectible monster kind of things, but all that is, from everything I've seen about it, it's just Pokemon but not, and I don't feel like there's a market for that kind of, just aping the franchise. I feel like you've got to have something to kind of make yourself distinct rather than just a legally distinct Pokemon.
I mean, I do agree on that one.
A lot of the desire for it comes from just bitterness of Game Freak not being up to date with the times and whatnot, not putting in the features that they probably should. I'm not going to defend Game Freak here, but if your sole modus operandi is to cut off your nose to spite your face and just play a lesser version of Pokemon, what's the point really? Just don't play either.
See, the instant comparison when you kind of phrase it like that is, I'm just now thinking of how great Mighty Number 9 is going to be because Capcom aren't treating Mega Man right.
Oh,
yeah.
It's better than nothing.
Yes, I was crying like an anime fan on prom night.
I see. Gordie knows a lot about anime. He is... Well, I'm assuming he watches anime. He reminds me of Ronaldo from a certain gay cartoon that I enjoy. Alright, Richie, what's his number mean?
So his number is 188, which is Iwaba in wordplay, which means rocky area.
Nice.
And his name's sort of more unique, I suppose, than some of the others, in the sense that, so obviously English it's Gordie, based on Gord, and could come from Geordie. In Japanese it's Makua. And Makua Uri is an oriental melon, I think a type of musk melon. So obviously he's basically kind of similarly named to his mother, because Melanie's actually his mother. Frenchie's called Chaz, which comes from Kamoe or Chimoe, which is Korean for oriental melon. Mac, same as the oriental melon. Milo, Italian they called him Milo, despite the fact that we've got a Milo elsewhere, but there we go. Which comes from Cucumis mello, which is the scientific name of a muskmelon. Spanish call him Morris, which apparently also comes from that as well, and it's the same sort of throughout. So he's also named after melons, apart from in English, which is obviously the gourd, although I'm pretty sure a gourd is sort of it's a type of pseudo melon.
Now, Gordie and Melanie neither have much personality to them, but I kind of like Gordie better just because he's got a bit of like over-the-top edge and sass to him for some reason.
Well, I mean, when you saw that flip thing he did when he threw the Pokeball out, that's impressive in its own right.
Yeah.
Although he does have a Barbaracle which kind of shoots his coolness factor in the foot.
I don't know, sort of intimidating in a sort of way like you won't want to meet it down a dark alley late at night.
Well, yeah, but that's because it's hideous, not because it's threatening.
Oh, right, well, when you can't see what you're seeing properly, it could be the same thing at the end of the day.
Well, yeah, my eyesight's bad, so I'll just, like, be scared of everyone, got it?
No, that's live life fearfully, otherwise are you really living?
That's why I stay in my room all day.
Oh, here comes Gimmick Pokemon, he's here.
Oh, yeah.
Not Phalanx, by the way. Phalanx is cute and ready to kick some ass. No, I'm talking of Stormjourner or whatever, of course.
I have to say, I do actually quite like Stormjourner. Like, I don't know whether it's any decent as a Pokemon or whatever, but it just makes me happy that it's basically a playable Stonehenge.
Well, I'm gonna hazard a guess, being pure rock, it's not that great, but at the same time, ooh. Yeah, not one of the more creative designs from James Turner.
I think this is one of his better ones, I gotta say. Like, I like Stormjourner. I think it is cool.
Interesting. He is one of the Pokemon that will wander into camp, by the way, should you set up on certain routes and whatnot. Let me tell you, the clip I first saw him in, that scared the shit out of me.
How does he even eat? Like, he doesn't look like he's got any biology to digest the food you cook him.
The same magic as all the other Pokemon that managed to do the same.
Yeah, but like, even some of the other rock types and that, they look like they've just got rocks on the outside, but they've still got like animalistic traits, whereas he is just a pile of rocks.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm about to say, think about things like Porygon, but I can't even remember whether Porygon made it into Sword and Shield.
Porygon's not in this game.
No.
Which is a shame, because Porygon 2 is one of my favourite Pokemon designs. Porygon Z, not so much.
Yeah, no.
But like, Porygon's another one that sticks out to me just because of how much I like its shiny coloration. The blue Porygon 2 is so fucking cool.
Yeah. I mean, but I have to say, all the Pokemon where its shiny form, so its original form's pink and its shiny form's blue, which there's quite a lot of Pokemon that do that, I do really like all of the shiny forms. It's because I like blue anyway, but pretty much all of those, the colour switch is just great.
I think the best one, like the best shiny coloration of all, is Umbreon, just because it's subtle, but it looks really cool when like it starts glowing and you see the blue glow around it rather than yellow.
Okay, I'm not even part of this conversation. I was just letting those two have a fun time, as it were. Alright, 300, it's time to earn your meal ticket, because you're going back in the box after this.
That's just
I
mean.
didn't even get to bitch about Espeon's shiny form, fuck.
Well, you had an entire Colosseum playthrough to do that. Oh, he's getting ready, he's being pumped up. It's the lad, Colossal.
It's that lad who's double wigged to that water type you don't have.
Ah, so it is.
I don't think I have ever done a run of a game without a water type on my team. This is weird to think about.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's because I like a lot of Gen 8 Pokemon. I fucking love Gordie. I like the Pokemon so much, I can't really decide if they allowed 7 Pokemon. Yeah, there might be a water Pokemon there, but as is, I'm limited.
Well, I'm the basic bitch who just grabs the Gyarados in every game, so take that how you will.
I mean, I will say, I normally do always have a water type of some description on my team, but part of that is always because I know that I'm going to need Surf, and now HMs aren't a thing, and so that need for Surf is no longer necessary, and therefore it didn't prove as needed as it has been in the past. But that said, I do hope that, you know, I can have a water type in my next Pokemon game that I want to use, because it was probably the one type where I did miss having it.
Well, I mean, Urshifu has a fighting water combo, so maybe go down that route.
It's true.
I'm thinking of the other water types that I've used over time, because like in my most recent Sun playthrough, I actually used the Astra Ninja, and that was a really cool water Pokemon. Good coverage. Like, even though I still don't properly understand the battle, like, what is it? Battle combining something? I forget the name of the mechanic, but the mechanic that makes it look like Ash. That seems to power it up and give it a buff, so that's cool when it just does that all by itself. And I just fucking love Greninja's design as it is, because it's a cool ninja frog.
Okay. You're so eloquent with the way you describe things, Flame.
I know, look, okay? I just like him, I think he's cool.
Okay, that's all you need to say.
Yeah, but that doesn't pad out time. While we wait for you to kill this fucking thing.
I've already done a lot of it, so I'm gonna just basically cheese this sucker to death. We're gonna max knuckle him at the speed of big.
Nice.
Size isn't a speed, Tom.
It is in my world.
Let's see, how does this fella look huge? Oh my god.
It's the lads are here.
Okay, that does look really cool with him Dynamax like that.
Gordie, you may want to rethink your type coverage now, mate. Goodbye.
Or maybe it's fine. They don't even have Knuckles. How do they use Max Knuckle?
Well, you saw they call down a big old fist from the sky, a big old loving fist.
Okay, I'll let that pass for him, but what about Blissey when it uses Tail Whip?
Blissey has a tail, doesn't it?
No, Chansey does, and that's why it can learn it, but if it keeps Tail Whip when it evolves, it can still use it despite not having a tail anymore.
Look, alright, fucking Cinderace does a headbutt by kicking. Anything's possible.
Maybe his brain is in his foot.
True, mine's in my ass, so anything's possible. Yes, another gym down, and yes, he is letting the family honour down.
Oh well, he'll survive.
Gordie, what does that mean exactly?
I don't know, I just know that his mother's overrated, and so I'm not too let down.
Okay, that's fair.
Although I have to say, you will probably be slightly lambasted by the Melanie fan club, because I do believe it is quite large.
Well, if you have a waifu and you get that offended, maybe get a life.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Well, I mean, it's okay when you're defending good waifus. It's just when you defend bad waifus that I have to tell you your taste is shit.
Okay, fair enough.
And is this why you're usually so quiet about which of the girls you like?
I'm just... Honestly, like, this goes back a while. It's not that I'm not flamed here in terms of, like, talking about stuff. It never comes to mind to discuss it, really. Like, he's more of an extrovert in that area, I'm more of an introvert.
You can just say I'm a degenerate with no shame.
No, because it's like, okay, you're a horny bastard, but you have a healthy sex drive. It's like, I can't believe I'm fucking discussing this. This is why I don't bring it up, because I go into scientific terms about it.
No, see, this is exactly why I bring it up, because it leads to you digging yourself a hole.
Okay, well, it looks like I'm going to be falling from here, I suppose. Let's head to KFC and tuck in for a meal well earned. The restaurant is named Bob's Your Uncle.
I do love that, yeah.
How many of us, and this is including the chat, I guess, how many of you guys actually have an uncle named Bob?
I do not, no.
I don't, but I mean, I don't necessarily regularly use the phrase Bob's your uncle, but I have definitely used it in the past, and I'm sure I'll definitely use it in the future. It's a pretty common Britishism.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Bob is short for Robert, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm just saying, that is all I'm saying. What the
What? He's just so sensible there, just welcoming all the guests.
Look, if the first thing that I see when I go into a fast food restaurant is a fucking bug the size of a, 4-foot tall human, I'm gonna call the police, never mind the pest control.
He's fine, he washes all of his hands.
Oh look, just some lore hanging on the wall here.
That's convenient for us, isn't it?
It's very convenient and very out of step with the vibe of the rest of this restaurant.
I love that painting on the right. It reminds me of Hot Fuzz, where Skinner's standing by a painting of himself, or a picture.
I think what they're going for is that's like the not Colonel Sanders, isn't it?
Oh, of course, Flame, of course. So yeah, maybe they've gone to sleep and whatnot. We need to wake those doggos up so they can, I don't know, do something. It's not very specified, although a chef is checking us out right now. Maybe he's the legend.
Doggos? Those are humans. I don't know what you mean.
Oh, yeah, indeed. Only humans here.
Well,
Apart from Centiscotch.
But no, obviously, because by this point we know that there are the Sword and Shield Pokémon. We don't know what they are yet, but we know that they exist, and obviously this is the two heroes at the Pokemon's graves, because clearly they're either asleep or they're dead.
They could be both, right?
Sleep and death are very closely linked, honestly.
They are indeed, and if you follow Kingdom Hearts, then that's basically a whole discussion right there.
Come on, Dream Drop 2. Hey, I'd be down for it, man. You know, free of the 3DS jank, go for it.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I just want more Kingdom Hearts. I mean, like, I think that's kind of the same for a lot of people. It's a franchise I love and hold very close to my heart, and I just want more.
Yeah. Oh, and just in case you're wondering, yes, Helldragon will be returning to do Remind as well as Shovel Knight King of Cards, so there you go.
Yay!
Whereas for me with Kingdom Hearts, I played the first one, it was alright, I guess, and that'll do me.
I mean, you gave it a shot, so...
Yeah, but I don't know, it's just like, I went into it kind of thinking, like, I know I've never cared for Disney, but I'll give the gameplay a shot, and it just worked for me. It's nothing against it. But,
which is fair enough, like... It happens all the time where sort of like there are experiences which like objectively you could say are very good experiences, but sometimes they're just not for you. Like, I mean, I can't necessarily point out a video game example, but a musical example, because, you know, musical weirdo, not here, and that's Hamilton. Basically, everyone raves about how amazing Hamilton is, and I can't disagree. It's an excellent show. I just didn't enjoy it as much as I perhaps wanted to or thought I should do, and it's just not something that I would really go and see again. And that's nothing against it as a show, it's just it wasn't up my street.
In the time Richie was talking about musicals, I took a drink, swallowed it down the wrong hole, choked a bit, and now I've recovered, so that's cool.
So, yep, here we go. We're going to have another battle with Hop, because, I don't know, he gets energized by looking at baths, I suppose.
I don't know, like, I think he might just be a masochist at this point. He knows we're going to beat him easily.
Amazing, we teleported outside of the town. Stop leading with your fucking sheep.
It'll work eventually, right? If I just keep on trying the same strategy over and over, eventually you'll get burned out.
That Trevenant didn't really have too big of a tenure, did it?
Well, I mean, to be fair, it did die, like, probably even more quickly than the sheep will.
True, very true. Alright, you can have... Well, first I'm going to take damage from the hail. You're going to take damage from the hail. And then I'm going to kick a fireball into your face.
Yeah, this is why I'm not too fond on the ice routes, because every battle you get into, after every turn, you get another round of this Pokemon was hit by the hail, and it just makes the battles take so much longer than they need to, even ones that you could just, like, sweep easy.
Yeah, maybe just, like, have it happen. You don't need to give me the text and whatnot.
Yeah, just, like, flash it up on screen and, like, just as the battle's going on, so you don't have to have this extra line of dialogue come up that you then have to skip. It just make the battles go by, like, so much more efficiently.
Well, it's more a quality of life adjustment than something that's drastically needed, though.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. I agree in principle that obviously the hail text makes the turns last a lot longer than really they should do. But equally, in terms of the way in which the Pokemon battles work, I think the only way that you could perhaps make it more streamlined while still making it clear what is happening is if both Pokemon are getting hurt by the hail, say blah blah and blah got hurt by the hail, rather than doing each one individually.
Yeah.
I think that might be the way to speed it up, because obviously if you're playing and you just sort of randomly lose health. Even though most of us would realise, oh, it's the hail that's doing that, not everybody would do. I think sort of from an access point of view, it makes sense that it needs to be stated what is happening, but they just need to find a way of sort of, streamlining that process.
I think what you could do, and I feel like what a lot of games probably would do as an approach, is that when the hail starts, it comes up saying, like, the hail is falling or whatever the phrase is, and then just flash an icon up every time your Pokemon takes damage next to the health bar. And it'd just be a much quicker way of communicating what is happening without the extra line there, without the extra time taken up. But it is one of the things that, like, Pokemon, we've just got so used to the way it is that I don't feel like they've considered speeding that particular area up.
No,
I don't think they have, but also there is the old adage of if it isn't broke, why fix it? Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Obviously, there are things that are perhaps showing a little bit of wear and tear in the Pokemon system, but in general, it does still work perfectly well, and so making any major changes to it could be a little bit dangerous, but I do think that they maybe need to just have a look to see what options they do have available.
Maybe make a pretty UI while you're at it.
I didn't care much for the UI in Sword and Shield at first, and it is a bit too minimalistic for its own good without having much identity to boot, but I've seen worse, to be honest.
Well, it's a practicality thing for me, because this is one thing that I've mentioned briefly in an earlier part, but the problem with this from a design perspective is that there's certain elements in the menus that don't take overscan into account. And while yes, you can adjust your Switch's output, like your video output size, a lot of people aren't going to do that, and it's pretty common practice to leave a safe zone around the edge, but this game just doesn't. And it's just one of them things that it just shows that maybe they haven't thought this through as much as a lot of games do. Like, they've just got their minimalist look and they've just thought, okay, this will do, and left it at that.
I don't really have anything to add to that, Flame. You just posed a question, we'll never get an answer from Game Freak, because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, it does matter. It's just the sort of thing that a lot of people would just put up with rather than complain about.
Well, just give us other options then. Like, you can buy frames for UI in other RPGs, I'm sure.
Well, in a lot of Pokemon games, if you go into the options, you can change what the frames are, even if all but the default one usually look hideous. So I know that's something that you can definitely do in the Game Boy games.
Yeah, true. Or on the Super Game Boy for the screen and whatnot.
Yeah, well, the Super Game Boy, that was its own thing of, like, it would have, like, a border you could pick, which was just a way of making it a bit more interesting, because you're playing an almost one-to-one game on a 4:3 screen.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, have a bit of poison jab up in your business.
Not quite the epic kill we were waiting for.
No, I want to twist the knife, as it were. That is how poison types operate.
I want to let him die slowly and painfully. What's he ever done to you?
Well, he is a monkey. He drums with purpose, and I don't like that.
Well, he's just keeping a beat.
The Gigantamax one looks fucking lit, by the way. I'm not gonna lie.
It does.
Yeah, like, he's like there for his epic drum solo at that point, isn't he? So if you're in the crowd and you need the piss break, there you go, Rillaboom's got you covered. It's like we've got the bassist beating up the drummer here. Like, what kind of dysfunctional band is this?
The Rillaboom was a huge help through my shield run, honestly. Probably more than Cinderace has been during this playthrough.
I would say that for me, because I used Cinderace in my sword run, and then when I went back to play Shield, I used Rillaboom. I think I got more overall use out of Cinderace, but I just prefer Rillaboom's design by so much that he still ended up being my favourite.
That's fine. As long as you're not a dirty Inteleon user, we can come to terms.
Come on, there's gonna be one guy who, like, that's his favourite Pokemon, isn't there?
Oh, he's probably dressed up as him right now.
Yeah, although to be fair, like, I think Inteleon's Gigantamax sort of helps redeem him a little bit in that he's got the epic sniper thing going on. I'm not being dignified with that, am I?
No, I'm just thinking about how forgettable Pincurchin is and how Freddy isn't ready for combat specifically right now, and it's all just a big shit show, really.
Just take him to a Pokemon Center and get him some better moves.
No.
Well, alright then, enjoy having these slow drawn out battles where you're not using a type effective move.
I will!
On principle now, just to spite me.
Alright, who should we finish off with? Kratos, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, I will also point out, like, in terms of actual game, there's not a huge amount of it left.
Or no, because it is like what we talked about, if it just kind of drives you from one gym to the next gym to the next gym, and it means that it sort of goes by quickly without you realising a lot of the time.
Yeah, which I will say, I do really appreciate. I wish there was maybe a little bit more, but I do appreciate that slightly speedier approach. I just wish that they'd tackled it slightly better.
I think people were right when they said the game, story-wise, does start to go downhill after the Fairy-type gym. You probably even noticed it yourself.
Yeah.
I would say that as soon as you get to the points where it's like stuff is happening, but you should go do the gym, that it kind of just it rubs it in. It like makes it very obvious, even if you hadn't clocked on to the fact that it's just driving you from gym to gym and it was really linear. Like that's the sort of stuff that awakens you to it, I feel. Because like although Pokemon games, they always have been very linear. That's not the crux of the argument in itself. It's more to the point that you would go to a gym, but then you'd have like a story element, or you'd go to an enemy base, or you would like have an encounter with a legendary Pokemon. It wouldn't just be like the same thing one after the other. It's kind of change it around a little bit as you go, and that's just not the case here. It's literally just gym fight, gym fight, gym fight. Maybe an optional wild area visit, gym fight. Yeah, it kind of does steer you very obviously like to the next milestone more so than the next story point.
Yeah, that's very true, it's very true. There aren't even really many, like, distractions or anything to get in the way, and, well, that's Sword and Shield in a nutshell, I suppose. But, yeah, we're done with Circhester now, so we're going to be heading south for an icy and watery area to the next town, which I believe houses the very first Dark-type gym, so that's going to be exciting. We'll see you all next time when our sword adventure continues. Bye for now.